Good morning again. Please first join me in welcoming Dr. Deborah DeMarco, Professor of Medicine, Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs and Graduate Medical Education, and the 2022 recipient of the Chancellor's Medal for Distinguished Service, carrying the University Mace and leading our procession, Dr. DeMarco. Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School, classes of 2023. Let's first welcome the graduates of the Tan Chingfen Graduate School of Nursing. The graduates of the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. The graduates of the T.H. Chan School of Medicine. faculty marshals, Drs. Manastas and Terry Arnowitz, please welcome the faculty of the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School. Welcome the distinguished members of the Platform Party, including the leadership of UMass Chan and our esteemed honorees. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Chancellor, Dr. Michael F. Collins, who will formally open today's proceedings. Chancellor Collins.
Good morning, everyone. It's my distinct privilege to hereby declare the 50th annual commencement exercises of the University of Mass Chan Medical School officially open. Could I ask the members of the audience to please stand for the singing of our national anthem, which will be performed by graduating T.H. Chan School of Medicine students Ashwin Panda, Haley Clark, and Morningside School of Biomedical Sciences student Emily Agnello.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may now be seated. I'm so pleased to be the first to officially salute the UMass Chan Medical School classes of 2023. Congratulations on this, your special day. On behalf of all of us at the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School, let me welcome members of our graduates' families and their friends who join us for today's ceremony. We know that you share in our pride as we celebrate the many accomplishments of our graduates. Now, graduates in the classes of 2023 are known for their outstanding academic accomplishments, as well as their extraordinary commitment to reaching beyond the borders of the campus to work with and to help others. We applaud you as you prepare to take your rightful place in our city, our Commonwealth, our nation, and our world as graduates of Massachusetts' great public medical school. Now, you've achieved your success in large part due to the support of your family and friends. Today's celebration is for them as well. So I'd ask you to rise and join me in thanking your families and friends with a hearty round of applause. It's important to recognize those who cannot be with us today because they've been called to duty as members of the United States Armed Forces, serving our country around the world. It is their selfless service to our nation and their commitment to preserve our freedom that enables us to be here today. Our thoughts and prayers are with them and with the members of their families. UMass Chan is an integral part of the University of Massachusetts system, which is an engine for educational opportunity and economic empowerment throughout the Commonwealth. Overseeing the burgeoning university system is an all-volunteer board of trustees comprised of a committed and altruistic group of individuals invested in the mission and success of the university. At today's ceremony, we feel fortunate to have the Vice Chair of the university's Board of Trustees, Mary Burns, in attendance. Vice Chair Burns, thank you for your wonderful advocacy and contributions in furtherance of the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School. Would you please join me in welcoming Vice Chair Burns? Joining Vice Chair Burns are UMass Lowell student trustee Mina Lamb, UMass Chan Medical School student trustee Bethany Berry, and trustee David Brunel, a Worcester native and a longtime champion for this medical school. We're pleased to have trustee Brunel here today to deliver greetings on behalf of the board. I now invite trustee Brunel to the lectern to offer his remarks. Trustee Brunel.
Good afternoon. I am delighted to be a part of this Commencement Day celebrating the achievements of our UMass Chan graduates, members of the class of 2023. On behalf of the UMass Board of Trustees, I want to congratulate all of you, our outstanding medical, nursing, and biomedical degree recipients, for reaching this important milestone in your lives. I want to thank President Marty Meehan and Chancellor Michael Collins for their strong leadership of the UMass system and the UMass Chan campus. It's exciting to be taking part in UMass Chan's 50th commencement, which is my first graduation ceremony as a UMass trustee. UMass Chan Medical School is an incredibly impressive place. Each year, the University of Massachusetts educates more Massachusetts students than any other institution in the state. And as a public university, we fulfill a special role in advancing economic development, research excellence, and a sense of the community that serve the Commonwealth. In our service as UMass trustees, it's our fundamental goal to ensure that our students succeed and leave each of our campuses prepared to make their mark in the community. In many ways, our board's efforts throughout the year are focused on this day, as we believe in the transformative power of public higher education. We believe in the University of Massachusetts, and we believe in you. Commencement Day marks a significant and exciting point in your lives. You have worked hard to get to this day. You have committed yourself to a life of healing. Many of you have done this while working, meeting family responsibilities, offering support to friends, and performing impactful community service. Today, we applaud the determination and discipline you've demonstrated. We recognize the sacrifices that you have made to get here and the crucial support you've received from family and friends to arrive at this proud moment. Many, including the Commonwealth itself, have invested in you and your success. Now, I have just one request. Recognize what a powerful force you are and how crucial your contributions will be to others. We know that many of you will travel the world and be great ambassadors for UMass Chan Medical School and for Massachusetts. For those of you who practice right here at home, our Commonwealth will be stronger and healthier as a result because of you. We are counting on you. Congratulations, graduates, and best wishes in everything you do.
Thank you, Trustee Brunel, for representing the interests of our medical school on the university's Board of Trustees. The educational experience we provide to our medical and nursing students relies upon the commitment of dedicated faculty at the clinical teaching affiliates that are entrusted to offer our aspiring caregivers excellent, equitable, and engaging learning opportunities on the wards, in the clinics, and in other care settings. Today, I want to first recognize Dr. Eric Dixon, President and CEO of UMass Memorial Health, our primary clinical partner, as well as a proud alumnus of our School of Medicine. Dr. Dixon, thank you for being here today. Bay State Health serves as our partner for the UMass Chan Bay State Regional Campus in Springfield. We're pleased to have Dr. Mark Kerouac, President and CEO of Bay State Health, and Dr. Andy Artenstein, Chief Physician Executive and Chief Academic Officer of Bay State Health, and our Regional Executive Dean of the UMass Chan Bay State Regional Campus. Both join us today. Would you please join me in welcoming them? I want to thank the both of you for your participation and commitment to the UMass Chan Bay State Health Partnership. Now, this year, we've been extremely excited to announce the formation of a second regional campus in partnership with Leahy Hospital and Medical Center in Burlington. This new regional campus will enable us to continue to expand our T.H. Chan School of Medicine class size in an effort to respond to a growing need for physicians in Massachusetts and around the nation. It has been wonderful to work and collaborate with Leahy's president, Dr. Susan Moffett-Bruce, an active and engaged partner who understands and appreciates the value of our academic mission. Dr. Moffett-Bruce, welcome to your first commencement. We hope it's the first of so many more to come. Lastly, but firstly, the heart and soul of any academic institution can be found within the faculty's ranks. Our faculty in the T.H. Chan School of Medicine, the Chingfen Graduate School of Nursing, and the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences are tremendous stewards of your educations and have helped to shepherd you along your academic journeys. Would you please join me in conveying thanks and gratitude to the more than 130 incredible faculty members who join us today. There is a simple truth. Nursing, science, and medicine at its best is what our graduates represent. We come together today at our 50th commencement to celebrate their many accomplishments. And I must tell you that it's a privilege for me, for the 16th time, to welcome the family, friends, and the graduates of the three schools of UMass Chan Medical School to a commencement celebration. Today, at a ceremony with some parts solemn and all parts joyous, we gather on the threshold of the future of the health professions. Now, it was not that long ago that, although I suppose it may seem like forever to some of you, that you came to Worcester to embark upon the next chapter of your professional journey. Nervous anticipation accompanied the well-earned confidence merited by your accomplishments, accolades, and miles traveled. Yes, there were tests and practicums. There were clinical rotations and complex scientific experiments. There were long days and longer nights, personal growth, professional challenges. And I suppose there were moments to forget, but many, many more that you will remember for the rest of your lives. Today, all of you are bound by an unmistakable realization that you have been changed by your time at this medical school and by once unimaginable challenges. Now, throughout our time together, we've been guided by a mission to change the course of history of disease. Yet, these past few years, one disease caused by a virus has changed not only the course of history, but the course of your academic journeys. While there was great hope in your expectations of what the future would behold, in full honesty, few could have predicted what would unfold. The real became virtual. Public health measures upended societal norms, and the noble truths of science and medicine were clouded by uninformed conjecture. Before we knew it, we isolated to protect ourselves and others. We covered our smiles with masks, our hearts with gowns, and our hands with gloves. Now, in your first days, you and your parents may remember, I encouraged you always to hold the hands of your patients with esteem. And indeed you have. When the lonely needed your presence, you kept them company. When the demand for life-saving vaccines overwhelmed our capacity to get shots into arms, you stepped forward to staff vaccination sites. In the very earliest days of your careers, you served on wards, in tents, arenas, conference centers, and at your neighbors' doors to ensure that the tenets of our professional oaths shone forth. So began your lifelong commitment of service to others. Through simple acts of kindness, you demonstrated your humanity and exemplify what is best about the healing professions. Carry forth into your careers the hard-earned wisdom of recent times. Revel and appreciate the pace and wonder of science that before our eyes improves and brings hope to the human condition. Always be mindful that ours is a global community and recognize that success against disease at home should be of little solace when the same disease ravages our global neighbors. With emboldened wisdom, let us promote the human dignity of each citizen of the world, for that is our true calling. Now, guided by these callings, let us dismantle those structures, practices, traditions, and embedded biases that perpetuate inequities in our healthcare delivery system and research practices. Let us reinforce the essential elements of compassionistic and humanistic patient care and research. And have confidence that your toil in the lab, on the ward, or at your patient's bedside matters. In your bright futures, when you recount to your children and grandchildren your memories of this time, do so with humility. Recall your self-sacrifice, but also the grief and heavy burden faced by some solely because of the inequities in our midst. Recall how in every hour of every day, good people like yourselves came together in spirit and support, recognizing that human connection is essential to our collective well-being. Let us into the future, literally and figuratively, close any distance between us. Now, there will be moments when all medical interventions have been exhausted. In those moments, please remember that the greatest privilege of your career may be found during the time you spend holding the hand of your patient, and do so with esteem. There may be times when you feel depleted, frustrated, overwhelmed, or see colleagues who are so burdened. Offer comfort to those traveling along with you on a similar professional path. Now be sustained too by the comfort and connection with your family and friends. And please know the privilege it has been for all the stewards of your education to see you grow and prosper, now as our junior-most colleagues. Each of us has taken an oath to educate those who follow in our professions. This is a sacred obligation to which we now welcome you to join us in fulfilling. Remember, the professional journey you have chosen will provide you with a valuable and meaningful platform from which you can serve others. Like Tanya Saman, will you endeavor to devote yourselves to the lives of individuals, families, or a nation's entire population by responding with your time, talent, and treasure to the needs of the most vulnerable among us? Like Luke O'Neill, will your keen intellect propel you to generate new knowledge, discover novel therapeutics, and become a trusted voice and advocate for public health? And like Katie Couric, will the sincerity of your convictions and the tenacity of your efforts bring to millions of others the resiliency and hope that accompanies research and elevates the human condition? The experiences you will encounter and the decisions that you will make in the days and years ahead shall be with you for a lifetime. During the triumphant and trying moments of your career, please know of the enduring pride that the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical shall have in calling you one of our own. As you leave this green and embark upon your exciting careers, never let the mask, gown, or gloves come between you and those for whom it will be your privilege to care. Congratulations and Godspeed along your professional journeys. For you are scientists, nurses, and doctors at their best.
Our university bestows honorary degrees upon select individuals whose accomplishments clearly represent the values that this institution holds dear. Today, we present honorary degrees to Tanya Issa Saman, Dr. Luke O'Neill, and our keynote speaker, Katie Couric. Chancellor Collins will confer the honors. Chancellor Collins, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Doctorate of Humane Letters, honoris causa, Tanya Issa Saman.
Welcome. Powerful and savvy international investor, influential philanthropist, and one who believes in education as a propellant for people and populations. Tanya Issa Saman, the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School, proudly welcomes you on this, our 50th commencement day. As chair of Bluestone Management, an investment firm with projects on multiple continents, through your service on advisory boards, and through the philanthropic efforts of the Saman Foundation, it is not hyperbole to state that you contribute to the personal, educational, professional, and cultural empowerment of tens of thousands of people each year. Among those noble callings, the power of education and each person's right to one is your family's closely held credo. You have told us that your late husband, Maroon, used to always say that in order for one to change a life or change a nation, one must start with education. It was a conviction born of his life's example from humble beginnings to great success, which he credited to his education, a commitment that together you nurtured. In helping others achieve the same dream, you, along with your cherished family and the trustees of the Saman Foundation, demonstrate how educating one person changes the lives of so many more around them. Selflessly, you open doors to opportunities that serve as a remedy for students, a remedy for families and communities, a remedy for hopelessness. And in so doing, you set an example for us all that extending a caring hand and kind soul most often results in opening a grateful heart. With eyes wide open, you see the world as it is and as it could be. With your heart opened wide, you embrace the potential of a teenager with big dreams or a nation yearning for prosperity. Your impact is felt on the bustling streets of Beirut, in the south of Lebanon, and in the north, from where your family so proudly hails, and indeed in communities around the globe, including here at our most fortunate medical school. Two of UMass Chan's preeminent faculty members hold endowed chairs that bear the name of your beloved Maroon. One supporting life-saving neurosurgical research, and one devoted to deepening our understanding of human biological systems interact and carry out their complex, intertwined harmonies as though they were fellow musicians in an orchestra. That all may know of your commitment to improving the human condition in your homeland and beyond, your fervent belief in a limitless future for young people and nations alike, and with deep gratitude for your confidence and support, the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School confers upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. Congratulations. Thank you.
Chancellor Collins, I now have the honor to present to you for the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa, Dr. Luke O'Neill.
Professor, welcome. Internationally renowned biochemist and thought leader in immunology, celebrated and compelling educator, passionate and powerfully effective public communicator of science, Dr. Luke O'Neill, the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School proudly welcomes you on this, our 50th Commencement Day. A son of Ireland, and Dublin specifically, you have risen to incredible heights as an esteemed researcher, teacher, and decoder of science, with the full breadth of your contributions blossoming at your beloved Trinity College, Dublin, right down the street from the maternity hospital where you were born. Once a Trinity student, you are now counted among the storied university's most sought-after and distinguished professors. The joy and thrill of being among the first to witness a new discovery have propelled your pioneering science for nearly 4 decades. In your lab, the mysteries of the body's innate immune system are one by one being unraveled. You and your collaborators have made novel discoveries about the role of the NLRP3 protein in disease and developed medicinal mechanisms to turn off this driver of rampant inflammation. With clinical trials currently underway, your discoveries provide hope of healthier futures to people with arthritis, Crohn's disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and more. Keenly, you have long recognized that the wonders and benefits of modern science must not be reserved for a narrow community of scholars. This belief has compelled you to share your knowledge, articulating complex scientific concepts in language that elicits understanding and enthusiasm for the value of biomedical research. Whether it's through teaching in the classroom, mentoring in the lab, writing books that elucidate science for children and adults alike, or lending your time and expertise to the Irish government in the early dark days of COVID-19 pandemic. You have willingly embraced the role of a trusted voice for science and public health for the Irish people, and indeed for the global community. The esteem in which you are held has brought you together with royalty and the highest representatives of government. Yet, it's the unique combination of your humility, your spirit of generosity, and your investment and advocacy in science, along with that of caring for those who will follow in your footsteps, that sets you apart and has earned you election to the Royal Irish Academy, recognition as a Fellow of the Royal Society, and an honorary lifetime membership in the International Cytokine and Interferon Society. That all may know of your fierce devotion to scientific discovery and to your unwavering commitment to communicating your knowledge with the broader world. The University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School confers upon you the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Congratulations.
Chancellor Collins, I now have the honor to present to you, for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, Katie Kirk.
Award-winning journalist, world-changing advocate for biomedical research and preventive health, trusted resource for sharing and communicating news and life-saving information, and inspirational influencer who draws from her uniquely powerful and personal narrative to give hope, comfort, and solace to millions. Catherine Ann Katie Kirk, the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School, welcomes you on this, our 50th Commencement Day. From your first job in television news in 1979, through your groundbreaking roles as host of the Today Show and as the first solo female anchor of the CBS Evening News, you are known and respected for your authenticity, your commitment, and your courage. Your interviews with national figures, including 5 United States presidents, highlight your poise, your grace, and your backbone. As an influential and tireless news reporter and anchor, you are for many a role model, especially for women, known for possessing a willingness to listen and a curiosity that fosters continuous learning. In 1998, when your world changed with the diagnosis and subsequent passing of your husband Jay from colon cancer, you brought those same steely qualities, hard work and adaptability, and an insatiable inquisitiveness to bear on a role you could have never imagined: public advocate for cancer screening, cancer care, and cancer research. And when you underwent, on a broadcast of the Today Show, a colonoscopy in 2000, a new phrase entered the American medical lexicon: the Couric effect, because you inspired so many others to schedule screening colonoscopies themselves. To this day, people credit your encouragement with saving their lives. To what more noble and humble calling could one aspire? The passing of your sister Emily in 2001 from pancreatic cancer accelerated, broadened, and intensified your impassioned push to increase awareness and screening. When you co-founded Stand Up to Cancer in 2008, few would have envisioned that the organization would raise over $750 million for cancer research and would contribute to 9 FDA-approved cancer treatments and counting. The cancer screenings for which you so persuasively advocated led last year to your own diagnosis of breast cancer. Though thankfully at an early stage, this screening fulfilled the promise of successful early detection. Your impact on the American public, our nation's medical community, and on the health, wellness, and well-being of countless lives is impossible to overstate. The trust you have earned in your career as a journalist makes you a singularly effective public advocate for saving lives. That all may know of your journey from world-renowned journalist to peerless advocate for cancer awareness, screening, and treatment, without a moment losing your authenticity, your independence, or that courage. The University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School confers upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. We're so pleased today that Katie Couric will serve as our principal commencement speaker. And it's my privilege now to welcome Katie Couric to the lectern. Katie.
Chancellor Collins, faculty, distinguished guests, parents, family members, Tanya and Luke, my fellow honorary degree recipients, and most of all, the 2023 graduates of the Massachusetts Chan Medical School. Should we take a selfie, or would that be chuggy? I say let's do it. Okay, ready? Say Chan. Okay. Follow me on Instagram, you'll be seeing that. So, what a thrill it is to be here in Wormtown, birthplace of birth control and the yellow smiley face. Two things that, as far as I know, are unrelated. I am so incredibly honored to be here on this very special day. Standing up here on this stage, I see a sea of faces full of hope for the future. Some with dark circles, some perhaps a little hungover, but all deserving the biggest, most heartfelt congratulations I can muster. You all have worked so damn hard. So, today is a time to celebrate, pat yourself on the back, and begin to think about the challenges ahead, of which there will be plenty. I hope that I can leave you with a healthy dose of inspiration, a shot in the arm, a prescription for being the best doctor, nurse, or scientist you can be, and hopefully a little laughter, because while it may not be the best medicine, it can sure make life a whole lot easier. You'll be making your mark in a world that is dramatically different than the one I entered when I graduated in oh, excuse me. Actually, thanks, Chancellor Collins, for telling everyone when I graduated from college. That's okay. Sure, embarking on a career in TV news had its challenges. There were plenty of men who wanted to keep the broads out of broadcasting. In fact, back then, harass was 2 words instead of 1. But over the last 40 years, I've seen women take front and center stage in my business. And I've also seen a huge transformation in the media industry, fueled by technology that has changed the way we create, distribute, and consume information. Now we're approaching a new era, a brave new world where artificial intelligence will transform almost every aspect of our society. And your chosen professions, of course, are no exception. Even though AI has been used in medicine since the 70s, with machine learning, which takes advantage of the processing power of computers and big data, it is going to be a whole new ballgame. Whether this represents a brand new day or the beginning of the end depends on who you talk to. But the consensus is that it will make our healthcare system more efficient, less expensive, and more equitable. Get rid of massive paperwork that takes too much time away from patients, and help reduce medical errors that kill an estimated 200,000 people every single year. It also has remarkable applications in predicting disease that isn't visible to the naked eye. An AI system created at MIT can scan a mammogram at the pixel level and compare it to patterns from previous scans and flag patients who have a high risk of getting breast cancer in 5 years, something even the most competent radiologists could never do. Other systems are helping predict whether early lung nodules will turn into cancer or skin lesions into melanoma. There are so many exciting developments, it will make your head spin. The world of medicine, in fact, will continue to evolve and iterate at breakneck speed. It's exciting, yet scary, promising, yet perilous. And while it's likely to help you serve your patients better and discover new, exciting therapies, perhaps even cures, it will never replace the living, breathing human beings who are graduating today. You will be bringing your unique selves to your profession, not the information you've processed, but the wisdom you've gained from the sum of your life experiences. You'll provide what no machine or robot can ever do, and that is your irreplaceable humanity. Never losing that will be your biggest challenge, making sure it's as omnipresent as your stethoscope, thermometer, and petri dish will be the greatest gift you give to your patients. So look, really look at your patients, listen to them, learn about them and from them. Instead of asking what's the matter with you, ask what matters to you. I know very well what matters to patients and their families because I've been there. Until the age of 40, my life had been a fairy tale existence. My late husband once said I was born on a sunny day. That was before he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer at the age of 41. He died 9 months later. Our daughters, just 6 and 2, were suddenly fatherless, and I was a widow, grappling with a devastating loss that would completely shatter the future I had imagined for our family. Those 9 months between diagnosis and death were excruciating, balancing hope that somehow we'd be able to manage Jay's disease until some miraculous new treatment came along, with the reality of his bleak prognosis. Optimism with despair was overwhelming. But our loving doctors and nurses were there, always there, offering words of encouragement, strength, and comfort. I don't know what I would have done without Jay's gastroenterologist, Mark Pachapin, who spent time getting to know Jay as the incredible person he was, and who deeply understood that cancer affects not just the patient, but the entire family as well. I asked Mark what he would tell you this morning, and he said, when patients come to see us for medical help, they are at their most vulnerable state. They may be at the top of their game personally and professionally, but when they need medical attention, they may feel confused, helpless, frightened, and out of control. Being present, holding a hand, and validating those emotions are so important for creating a bond of trust and understanding, the very essence of the doctor-patient relationship. Just 2.5 years after Jay's death, I got a phone call from my oldest sister, Emily, a rising star in Virginia politics. She had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and in her words, it was all over her liver. Like Jay, she fought like hell and lived for 16 months. Having a painful front row seat to the patient experience, her eldest son, my nephew Ray, became a gastrointestinal oncologist. And this is what Ray told me that I wanted to share with you today. Experiencing the death of my mother when she was just 54, before I finished becoming the son I wanted to be and the son I felt she fully deserved, and watching the pain on her face as she struggled to come to terms with her inevitable demise, conditioned me to let myself relive that experience and reimagine her pain at least a little with every cancer patient and every family member I care for. As difficult as that sounds, it's what sustains me. It's up to you to manage your empathy so that it doesn't consume you, but never make the mistake of inadequately nurturing it. When you care for another human being, you're caring for a version of yourself. Fast forward to 2022. I thought cancer by now was in my rearview mirror. But last summer, I went to my radiologist for my yearly breast cancer screening. Like many other women, I got off schedule during the pandemic and was 6 months behind. Much to my surprise, I too became a member of a club no one wants to join. I was diagnosed with stage 1A breast cancer, which required a lumpectomy and radiation. Once again, my medical team was amazing. All female, I might add. I asked my breast surgeon, Dr. Lisa Newman, for some words of wisdom. She quoted a mentor of hers who once told her, "Each patient should always be the object of our affection," adding, It always reminds me that in the midst of the intensity of explaining a new cancer diagnosis and its treatment, it's imperative to connect with each patient and make sure they know you genuinely and sincerely care for their well-being. My friend Dr. Jeremy Faust, an emergency physician at Brigham and Women's, put it this way: use every bit of technology you possibly can to prepare for each patient, but then drop all that and do the one thing that technology can never do. Look at your patient and think, what would I do if this were my mother or my brother? No machine will ever be able to know that feeling, and it will change what you do more often than you'd expect. In fact, a book called Compassionomics shows there's scientific evidence that compassion can improve the outcomes of everything from glucose control in diabetics, response to pain stimulus, anxiety in breast cancer patients, and the duration of the common cold by bolstering the immune system. Needless to say, all these experiences shook me to my core, but they also motivated me to try to make a difference. As you heard from Chancellor Collins, after my husband died, I got a colonoscopy on the Today Show. Nothing says good morning like showing your colon on national television. And as he mentioned, colon cancer screening increased 20%, and the University of Michigan called it the Couric effect. I've continued to be the screen queen in the years since. Not long ago, when Jimmy Kimmel turned 50, sorry, he's 50, not 30, I took him to get his colonoscopy. And now that the screening, believe it or not, we had a blast. I'm not sure Jimmy did, but I did. Now that the screening age has been lowered to 45, maybe this year I'll take Tom Brady. I'm sure a few Patriot fans here might be willing to perform the procedure with minimal anesthesia. I wasn't sure that would work, but I think it did. Meanwhile, in 2008, I co-founded an organization called Stand Up to Cancer with 8 other women frustrated by the pace of cancer research. We have raised more than $700 million to support dream teams of scientists from different institutions who are collaborating instead of competing and moving science forward faster. Who knows, maybe one of you scientists in the room will get a Stand Up to Cancer research grant one day. And following my breast cancer diagnosis, I joined forces with 2 members of Congress, one Democrat and one Republican, to introduce the Find It Early Act, which will mandate insurance companies pay for life-saving screening ultrasounds or MRIs for the millions of women in this country who have dense breasts like me. I know, TMI. And just as I did with colon cancer, I'm using every avenue I can to make sure women find out if they need additional screening. In fact, using my skills as a journalist to explain complicated medical concepts in an understandable and accessible way has been one of my greatest sources of pride. I urge all of you to learn to talk to your patients in human. You don't have to be on TV, though, to be an advocate. All of you will need to be, not only for your patients, but for yourselves. There's no getting around it. Being a healthcare professional is stressful. Sometimes you'll be working double shifts. You'll be exhausted. You often won't have enough time with your patients. You'll be frustrated. You'll be under pressure writing grant proposals and trying to get your research done at the same time. You'll have patients who are cranky and ungrateful. You'll watch people die. You'll speak to bereaved families. Perhaps you'll have to respond to another global pandemic. Good God, let's hope not. But whatever you face, it's bound to take a toll. 1/3 of nurses left the profession in 2022. More than half of physicians reported feeling burned out this year, and nearly 1 in 4 doctors reported feeling depressed, the highest percentages in 5 years. The residual effects, the trauma really of COVID, has not dissipated. At the height of the pandemic, I looked for a hospital expert in New York City who I could interview about the mental health programs that were available to support their exhausted workforce. I couldn't find any. Too many institutions are woefully behind when it comes to acknowledging the stressors of your jobs and providing the infrastructure necessary to help your teams. Demand more for yourselves and your colleagues. As Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see, but also work hard to develop your own internal coping mechanisms, the resilience that only you can provide yourselves when you're inevitably faced with setbacks and disappointments. Hopefully, you'll also challenge a system that is rife with inequities. When I was being treated for breast cancer, I couldn't help but think of the women who could not afford the kind of health care I was privileged to have. Black women, in fact, with breast cancer are 4 times more likely to die from the disease than white women. That is simply unacceptable. As Bono once said, where you live should not determine whether you live or whether you die. Yet, as you know, there are wildly different outcomes for those who don't have access, who are not treated with the same degree of care. A few days ago, I met a physician who's leading a company that provides high-quality care to marginalized populations. Her advice, as you make choices about what and where to practice, lean into opportunities to apply your incredible skills and talents to improving outcomes for those who need it the most. And recognize that by focusing your career on addressing health inequities, by working in underserved communities, you may find the key to your own well-being, satisfaction, and longevity in your profession. She also told me that treating every patient the same isn't necessarily the goal. In a society in which bias and inequity is baked into the fabric of every aspect of our lives, understanding every person you treat, their history, their education, their culture, their families, their circumstances, the so-called social determinants of health, is absolutely key to improving health care for everyone. Before I go, I can't let the opportunity pass without telling you one last thing. You are my heroes, and I'm not just sucking up. This is something I have said for years and years, not just during the pandemic when I was hanging out of my windows, banging my pots and pans with other New Yorkers. You save lives. Your work changes lives. You were there for others in times of great joy and times of tremendous sadness. Whether you're delivering difficult news or delivering a baby, encouraging a patient to take their meds or checking their vitals, discovering a new drug for ALS or overseeing a promising clinical trial, you matter so much. Take pride in the fact that you are a graduate of this fine institution with incredible leadership. Take pride that you have chosen a profession that really isn't a career, it's a calling. I am so excited and frankly a little jealous that you have your whole lives ahead of you. As my husband says, I'm on the back 9. But to mix metaphors, I'm sprinting to the finish line. There is so much to experience, so much to do, so much to give. Every day is a chance to put something good in the world, to make a difference. As Mary Oliver wrote in her poem, The Summer Day, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I, for one, cannot wait to find out. Thank you again for this incredible honor, and congratulations.
Katie, thanks so much for those words. Thanks so much for being here this weekend. It's been just wonderful to have you here and to be part of our community this weekend. Remember now forever you're a graduate of this medical school. I will from now on. It's Dr. Katie. No question about it. We've now come to the most important part of our ceremony, the conferral and awarding of degrees to the classes of 2023. To begin with the proceedings, it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Joan Vitello, Dean of the Chingfen Graduate School of Nursing, to the lectern. Dean Vitello.
Thank you, Chancellor Collins. It is truly my utmost pleasure to introduce the 2023 commencement speaker from the Chingfen Graduate School of Nursing. By the way, Chingfen is a nurse, so that's an incredible honor for our School of Nursing. Our commencement speaker, let me tell you a little bit about her before I announce her. She was a graduate entry pathway student in 2019, so she spent 2 years of her career here during the pandemic. She's also the mother of 2, and I'm not going to tell you any more about her, but she just won the Chancellor's Award. So join me in welcoming Amanda Hazelton, who will become the D&P Doctorate of Nursing Practice recipient today. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you, Dean Vitello. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this momentous occasion. My name is Amanda Hazeltine, and I'm grateful for the honor of representing the Chingfen School of Nursing class of 2023. Standing before distinguished guests, graduates, faculty, and staff from all 3 schools holds special meaning for me. You see, my husband, Max, previously graduated from both the T.H. Chan School of Medicine and the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. And somewhere along the way, we figured, what's a little more in student loans? And went for the Hazeltine family hat trick. So here I am. UMass Chan, we are indebted to you in more ways than one. In all seriousness, I want to share a moment of gratitude and sincerely thank UMass Chan faculty, staff, family, and friends for your dedication and support over the years. You have made our dreams possible. This day celebrates all of you as well, for your mentorship and love are interwoven into our generation of nurses, doctors, and scientists. Before I became a nurse, I had a decade-long career as a storyteller, writing about scientific discoveries and clinician and patient experiences. But when my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, her story became my story. I saw firsthand the compassionate care she received from her doctors and nurses, experienced hope when novel clinical trial therapies gave us more time with her, and appreciated the comfort palliative care bestowed upon her and our family. Nursing found me at this pivotal moment when I decided to write the first chapter of a new story. When I told my mom of my plan to pursue a career in nursing, she responded in a protective way. "You're doing really well. Why start all over?" I didn't think of it as starting over, but rather arriving at where I was meant to be. Our experience as nurses is inextricably linked to our patients' stories, some of which I'd like to share with you today. I have learned about the power of presence from a patient whose biggest fear was being alone in the morgue after he dies. I sat with him, holding space for his emotions, wondering how this simple act could possibly be enough. But later that day, he said, "Thank you for what you did for me." I also learned there is hope in every situation from a police officer who was an organ donor. He was beloved by the community he served and would go on to save many more lives with this last gift. And I learned about the meaningfulness of human connection. At the start of a 12-hour shift, my patient and his family were strangers to me. But by the end of that shift, his wife had given me a handwritten Italian family recipe for steak pizzaiola that I had not had since I was a little girl. Later, I made it for my family and was instantly transported to my childhood. Nursing care can touch us in ways we could never expect. As my mom's health declined, she increasingly experienced the vital role and dedicated care of nurses. And just before she died, she gifted me one last affirmation. She said, "If I could do it all over again, I would become a nurse." During this time of reflection, I think about all that we have learned from UMass Chan, faculty, each other, and our patients, from our didactic lectures to clinicals, OSCEs, and leadership practicums. And I'm most inspired by what you, my classmates, have accomplished. You've exemplified leadership during the pandemic, helping with the COVID-19 community response. You've demonstrated innovation in providing free care via telehealth. You've conducted research and shed light on mental illness and stigma. You've traveled to the Dominican Republic to provide education on HIV prevention. You've met with members of Congress to advocate for policies that improve access to timely and effective care. And above all, you've been resilient during this pandemic in advancing research and serving on the front line, caring for patients, all while taking care of your own families and pursuing your doctoral studies. I couldn't be more proud to be graduating alongside you today. And so I'll leave you with this. Through the tragedies and triumphs we experience, we can never lose sight of the human connections that can foster compassion for each other and resiliency in the face of adversity. I look forward to writing the next chapter in serving our community and caring for our patients together. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Chancellor Collins, I now have the honor and privilege to present all the candidates who have completed all of the requirements for the postgraduate certificate, the postmaster's doctorate of nursing practice, the doctor of nursing practice, and doctor of philosophy in nursing.
Will the candidates please rise? By the authority vested in me by the Board of the Trustees of the University of Massachusetts, I confer upon each of you the degree recommended by the faculty of the Tan Chingfen Graduate School of Nursing. In accordance with usual custom, you as individuals are entitled to all the rights and privileges which pertain to these degrees here and elsewhere.
Congratulations, 2023. I will now invite Dr. Jim Fain and Dr. Ann Larkin to help confer the awarding of degrees.
We begin with the awarding of the postgraduate certificate to Maureen Danielle. We will now transition to the hooding and awarding of degrees for our Doctor of Nursing Practice graduates. Would our Doctor of Nursing Practice graduates please stand? The academic hoods that you'll soon adorn are replete with symbolism. The hoods serve as visual representations of your academic achievement and the nursing degrees you have successfully earned. Most importantly, your hoods signify the culmination of your graduate studies and your transition from student to colleague. In the presence of all who are gathered here today, I would ask that the Doctor of Nursing Practice graduates in the Tan Chingfen Graduate School of Nursing don your academic hoods. We welcome you to the nursing profession as our newest colleagues. Congratulations. And now the awarding of degrees. Please come forth. First, our Postmaster's Doctor of Nursing Practice degrees are awarded to Dr. Lisa Jean Abondanza, Dr. Nancy Arzusiag Basamea, Dr. Joy Lynn Camara, Dr. Stephanie Marie Costello, Dr. Amy Catherine Israelian, Dr. Kristen Marie Kaczewski, Dr. Lisa Beth McGregor, Lindsay, thanks. Dr. Shauna Ann Stedman, and now our Doctor of Nursing Practice degrees are awarded to Dr. Bado Ajay, Dr. Vanessa Monique Alves, Dr. Elizabeth Eileen Brown, Dr. Ryan Hunter Burke, Dr. Amy Lee Chow, Dr. Adam Philip Coral, Dr. Caitlin Yolanda Cormier, Dr. Michael Paul Danielle, Dr. Brad Allen Daniels Demers, Dr. Maria Elizabeth Dana, Dr. Jake Daniel Davidson, Dr. Karina Michaela Dela Cruz Del Mundo, Dr. Wendy Michelle Dixon, Dr. Emily Rose Everett, Dr. Casey Louise Gallagher, Dr. Courtney Elizabeth Gannon, Dr. Kelly Mariel Garcia, Dr. Amanda Marie Hazeltine, Dr. Heidi Anna Holliver, Dr. Claire Fayweather Hopkins, Dr. Victoria Rose Johnson, Dr. Kelly Marie Joyce, Dr. Sydney Van Mee Dorothy Knoll, Dr. Melanie Helen Kasuth, Dr. Madeline Fennon Lane. Dr. Paige Oliver LaPearl. Dr. Erica Ann Linder. Dr. Catherine Elizabeth Luzuski. Dr. Divya Lukos. Dr. Jacqueline Wanjiro Bugwa. Dr. Monica Bugwa. Dr. Brian Patrick McCullough. Dr. Kathleen Denise Mendez. Dr. Tara Fien Minocci. Dr. Sophia Moragas. Dr. Bethany Murrell. Dr. Christopher Francis Perkins. Dr. Samantha Lynn Reeves. Dr. Helen Victoria Siagras. Dr. Matthew James Sianco. Dr. Christine Ann Tui. Dr. Jennifer Velazquez. Dr. Elizabeth Marie Bequist. Dr. Catherine Rose Walker. Dr. Grace Cobb Winship. And Doctor of Philosophy degrees in nursing are awarded to Dr. Elena Ann Filio. Mentor, Dr. Jean Boucher, dissertation title, Key Informants, Perspectives of HIV Prevention in the Bate Communities in the Dominican Republic. Dr. Rose Marie Nyakoko. Mentor, Dr. Nancy Morris, dissertation, Mental Illness Knowledge and Stigma of Jamaican Diaspora and First Generation Jamaican Americans. And Dr. Samantha LaPlante Turner, mentor, Dr. Nancy Morris, dissertation, A National Study of Pediatric Healthcare Providers' Attitudes and Beliefs about Childhood Weight Stigma.
Will all the graduates of the Tan Chingfen Graduate School of Nursing please rise and be recognized? It is my pleasure now to invite Dr. Mary Ellen Lane, Dean of the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, to the lectern. Dean Lane.
Thank you, Chancellor Collins. It is my honor today to introduce Dr. Kathleen Morrill as the class speaker for the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. Dr. Morrill is a creative and innovative scientist who pushed computational genomics in a new direction and epitomizes the best of a modern computational scientist. She brings people together across disciplines and silos to create new knowledge. She is also the awardee, the 2023 recipient of the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences Dean's Award for Excellence in Thesis Research, and of the National Weintraub Award, which recognizes a graduating PhD student who impacted the broad field of molecular genetics. She's a beloved teacher and mentor to more junior scientists, generous with her time, knowledge, and wisdom, and she is a resilient scientist, leader, and person. Dr. Morrill.
One second. Great. Thank you, Dean Lane, Provost Flott, and Chancellor Collins, and to all members of our faculty and staff here at UMass Chan Medical School for forging the paths of our scientific journeys, and to our family and loved ones who stood by us through late nights, daunting experiments, and our concerning but ultimately unfounded doubts about our place in science. Your heartfelt support has carried us through. This year marks yet another leap forward in the domain of biomedical knowledge. There are over 35 million scientific articles available to read online from the National Library of Medicine, and 38,000 just on the topic of CRISPR biotechnology alone. Scientists have uncovered 75 distinct types of cells within the human cortex, contributing to the 100 billion neurons and 100 trillion connections made in your brain. Research biobanks have sequenced over 696,000 high-quality human genomes since the first assembled in 2003, and the most complete map of the human genome was released just last year. And today we have over 50 dissertations freshly authored and fiercely defended by UMass graduates. If our loved ones thought that the high school biology textbooks were dense and daunting, just think about the scale of scientific knowledge to which we have just added. We're stepping into, or rather I should say we've been slow-boiled into a world of massive information. As machine learning holds the public eye, promising to revolutionize medicine and virtually everything else, the line between reality and falsity blurs further, and our search for truth becomes even more challenging. It's no secret that science fiction authors have a lot of foresight when it comes to science reality, and Isaac Asimov, a late professor of biochemistry from Boston University, wrote a lot of relevant works in pursuit of this challenge. In his famous short story, The Last Question, humankind devises a powerful thinking machine that absorbs all knowledge in the known universe, and people of every generation ask it an ultimate question that takes millennia to compute. But in Asimov's lesser-known story, The Last Answer, that script is flipped. We, human beings, are called to be the thinkers. The main character, a physicist by trade, begrudges this role. He knows that there is far too much to know. Then, a character who's attained already an infinity of knowledge tells him, there may be things I've not yet troubled to know, but there is nothing that I cannot know. Our purpose as scientists is to seek knowledge, even when the truth is complex, painful, and ultimately not fully attainable. We as PhDs are uniquely equipped. We're trained to question, to investigate, and to seek the truth amidst the noise. And the truth is often complex. We've all confronted the enormity of biology and felt dwarfed by it. And here today, we know not only our limitations, but how to start seeking truths among layers of complexity. Each PhD achiever here today has used this process to add to the vast pool of biomedical knowledge by uncovering the intricacies of viral protein structures that contribute to infectious disease, by delineating the molecular and neural pathways behind learning and memory in the brain. 2 pages here. By finding novel therapeutic opportunities for rare diseases like ALS, cerebellar ataxia, and GM3 synthase deficiency. and by discerning the effectiveness of outreach and technology-assisted public health strategies. And frankly, we've ended up making the learning and training for future biologists that much more challenging by adding all that knowledge. The truth can also be painful. I've been touched by truth seekers at every level of scientist and practitioner at UMass Chan, because at the height of the recent pandemic, amidst chipping away at my own research, I was faced with the painful truth that I had breast cancer. Practitioners at Student Health helped me first flag down the disease. The talented team of doctors and nurses, with whom many of my peers have trained and is also an all-women team, tackled my treatment swiftly. And the support systems arranged by our graduate school helped me manage myself as I endeavored to complete my dissertation. Each of us has overcome something monumental and whose story could be easily substituted here, and we had to start by facing painful truths. And finally, the truth may be impossible. The main character in Asimov's story does not accept his call to think because he believes it's feasible to fully uncover the truth. He thinks because he's spiteful, persistent, doubtful, uncertain, resistant. And it's this stubborn spirit that sets us on our paths. We did not stop because we hit walls in our research. We started and kept thinking. I want to congratulate our class of 2023 graduates from the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, and may your relentless pursuit of the truth in all its forms be recognized and appreciated fully today. Thank you.
Chancellor Collins, I have the honor to present the candidates who have satisfied the requirement for the Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Science degrees.
Will the candidates please rise? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Massachusetts, I confer upon each of you the degree recommended by the faculty of the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. In accordance with usual custom, you as individuals are entitled to all the rights and privileges which pertain to this degree here and elsewhere. Congratulations.
Will Doctors Anthony Imbalzano and Ann Larkin please come forward for the award of the Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Science degrees?
Will the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Sciences degree mentors please come forward for the awarding of the Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Sciences degrees? Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Sciences degrees are awarded to Dr. Emily Agnello, mentor Dr. Brian Kelch, dissertation, Structure and Assembly of Thermophilic Bacteriophage. Dr. Chingfen Liu, mentor Dr. Brian Kelch, dissertation, Mechanism of Sliding Clamp Loading During DNA Replication and Repair in Atomic Detail. Dr. Joseph Magrino, mentor Dr. Brian Kelch, dissertation, Mechanistic Role of the Sliding Clamp in Genome Stability and Disease. Dr. Kellyanne Dolores Alexander, mentor Dr. Michael Francis, dissertation, Deconstructing the Nervous System, Transcriptional Mechanisms Sculpting Neuronal Connectivity in C. elegans. Dr. Christine Elizabeth Carboni, mentor Dr. Andrei Korostelev, dissertation, Time Resolved in Ensemble Cryo-EM Studies of Translation Elongation and Ribosome Rescue. Dr. Monica Hachard Chitre, mentor Dr. Patrick Emery, Dissertation, investigating proteolytic processing of ataxin 2, a neurodegenerative disease-associated protein. Dr. Yia Duan, mentor Dr. Victor Ambrose. Dissertation, functional characterization of the 3' non-seed nucleotides of conserved microRNA LET7A and phenocritical argonaute residues in Caenorhabditis elegans. Dr. Sean Bruce Egri, mentor Dr. Kwang Shen. Dissertation, molecular mechanisms of amino acid sensing upstream of mTORC1. Dr. Kaili Fan, mentor Dr. Jiping Wang. Dissertation, leveraging multi-omic data to characterize cis-regulatory elements and investigate their roles in gene regulation. Dr. Katerina Ann Ferrucci, mentor Dr. William Jesdale. Dissertation, the status of eating disorder prevalence and the quality of eating disorder treatment among transgender and gender-expansive patients in the United States, a mixed methods study. Dr. Michael Fader, mentor Dr. Mary Munson. Dissertation, characterization of SEC3 and its conformation within the exocyst complex. Dr. Salome Estefania Funes Velasquez, mentor Dr. Daryl Bosco. Dissertation, investigating cell-autonomous mechanisms of microglial dysfunction in PFN1 ALS. Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram Kumar, mentor Dr. Daryl Bosco. Dissertation, insights into nucleocytoplasmic transport decline in FUS-mediated ALS and nanobody biologics for SOD1-mediated ALS. Dr. Thebanjan Goswami, mentor Dr. Javier Irizauki. Dissertation, negative regulation of innate immunity by novel nuclear receptor NHR42 NR1D1 with implications in infection survival, metabolism, and fitness. Dr. Maureen Martha Hester, mentor Dr. Stuart Levitz. Dissertation, cryptococcal vaccine development, antigen selection, and immunological mechanisms of protection. Dr. Samantha Kaiho, mentor Dr. William Thurkoff. Dissertation, the interplay between stress and the Drosophila piRNA pathway. Dr. Nicholas Paul Rice, mentor Dr. William Thurkoff. Dissertation, impact of stress on the piRNA pathway. Dr. Brent Braun Horowitz, mentor Dr. Marianne Walut. Dissertation, a transcriptional cofactor regulatory network in the C. elegans intestine. Dr. Zeynep Ita, mentor Dr. Roger Davis. Dissertation, the C-Jun amino-terminal kinase pathway in HER2-positive breast cancer development and inflammation. Dr. Michael Christopher Jones, mentor Dr. Susan Swain. Dissertation, the effect cognate antigen has on T cells responding to influenza infection. Dr. Jenya Kopakova, mentor Dr. Gilles Martin. Dissertation, binge alcohol drinking alters differential control of cholinergic interneurons over nucleus accumbens medium spiny neurons. Dr. Yongjin Lee, mentor Dr. Philip Zamor. Dissertation, small nuclear RNA 3'N processing factors in transposon silencing and piRNA biogenesis. Dr. Shuchao Lei, mentor Dr. Kate Fitzgerald. Dissertation, investigating HNF4A in intestinal homeostasis and inflammation. Dr. Margaret Edith Magaletta, mentor Dr. Renee Mayer. Dissertation, cellular heterogeneity and gene regulatory network coordination during thymic epithelial cell development. Dr. Ekaterina Vitalyevna Makieva, mentor Dr. Craig Mello. Dissertation, intron safeguard mRNA expression in the C. elegans germline against multiple surveillance mechanisms. Dr. Kathleen Miranda Morrill, mentor Dr. Eleanor Carlson. Dissertation, the genomics of canine behavior and its comparative relevance to human neuropsychiatric conditions. Dr. Krista Sawyun Park. Mentor, Dr. Francis Kaming Chan. Dissertation, The Molecular Mechanisms of RIPK1-Induced Cell Death and Its Impact on the Immune Response. Dr. Neha Sharish Samant. Mentor, Dr. Daniel Bolin. Dissertation, Investigating the Role of Mutational Interdependencies on Viral Protein Function and the Evolution of Drug Resistance. Dr. Nandita Uma Naresh. Mentor, Dr. Cole Haynes. Dissertation, Recovery of Mitochondrial DNA by ATFS1 is required to resume development following starvation. Dr. Ozgun Uyan. Mentors, Dr. Robert Brown and Dr. Job Dechter. Dissertation, The Role of Chromatin Architecture in Motor Neurons in Maturation and Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis. Dr. Fei Wong. Mentor, Dr. Yan Shun. Dissertation, Gliotransmission Orchestrates Neuronal Type-Specific Axon Regeneration. Dr. Grant Weaver. Mentor, Dr. Lawrence Stern. Dissertation, The HHV6BU20 glycoprotein inhibits NK cell responses by binding ULBP1 and blocking NKG2D activation. Dr. Wei-Ya Yang. Mentors, Dr. Guangping Gao and Dr. Robert Brown. Dissertation, Regulated Gene Therapy Towards Glycosphingolipid Biosynthesis Deficiencies. And Dr. Zinger Lang Lorero. Mentor, Dr. Sylvia Corvera. Dissertation, Canonical Wnt signaling maintains human mesenchymal progenitor cell multipotency during adult adipose tissue differentiation.
Will all the graduates of the Morningside Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences please rise and be recognized? In our 16th year together as the leaders of this institution, it is now my pleasure to invite the Dean of the T.H. Chan School of Medicine, Dr. Terence Flott, to the lectern. Dean Flott.
The 50th class of the T.H. Chan School of Medicine has selected an outstanding student to be this year's class speaker. He is in the top quartile of the class and will be starting his residency in psychiatry at the Massachusetts General Hospital in just a few weeks. Also hails as a member of the Grafton Hill House. Please join me in welcoming Sean D. Boyden.
Wow. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. It is the honor of a lifetime to be up here on stage, although it is bittersweet since I didn't get to be in the selfie with Katie Couric, but that's okay. I really do consider this to be what is perhaps the most special and important moment of my life, and I hope that means a lot because I am getting married on Saturday. And here's where we wave to my fiance for forgiveness, so I love you, honey. The deposit's in, you can't say no now. But rest assured that this all means that I spent a lot of time thinking about what I would say in this speech. How I would encapsulate the transformation we have undergone. How I could impress upon you all the magnitude of this undertaking, of becoming the next generation of physicians. And how I would do it all in 3 minutes. The task felt impossible. And when an academic endeavor feels impossible, there is only one place that I go for answers: to my couch because I can watch Legally Blonde. And fortunately for me, Elle Woods gives a speech at the end of that movie. But unfortunately for us all, I do think I would break some copyright laws if I just recited it word for word as I had originally planned. So we'll all just have to settle for Elle's final sentence. We did it. We made a decision, a daunting and possibly financially irresponsible decision, to attend medical school. We packed our bags and moved to Worcester, Massachusetts, with some very convincing branding work lauding us as the Paris of the millennium. We sat through lectures on everything from the pathway of glycolysis to the anatomy of the human brain. We barricaded ourselves in learning community rooms and forced each other to memorize the muscles of the human hand. We crossed mountains, mountains of year-old questions, mountains of student loan debt, mountains of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, asking ourselves if we even deserve to be here. We demonstrated, through a tireless work ethic, an unending sense of purpose, that we all belong here, that each of those mountains crossed was only a trial that made us all stronger. We did it together. We shared study guides on Facebook. We helped each other memorize those muscles in that hand. We slid into each other's Zoom DMs when we were bored. As the last class to have matriculated at UMass before COVID-19 changed the world forever, we endured the anxiety and isolation as a team. We told each other where to show up on the first day of a new rotation when no one else had. We made each other laugh. We inspired one another to keep going. We believed in each other, even when we didn't always believe in ourselves. Nearly 4 years ago today, in this same spot at our white coat ceremony, we were told a phrase that has stuck with me through the years. You have been called. I like to think that in the 4 years since that day, we have not only answered the call to medicine, we picked up that hot pink cell phone and said, "What? Like it's hard?" Having so much fun up here, I'm sorry. We have proven ourselves capable of so much in these past 4 years. We have done it, and we will continue to do it. We will go forth from this place, taking with us the knowledge and friendships and beautiful memories that were imparted to us here, and go make a difference in people's lives. We will change the world. And because I will certainly still need someone to tell me where to show up on the first day, we are going to change the world together. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Chancellor Collins, I now have the honor to present the candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Medicine.
Will the candidates please rise? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Massachusetts, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Medicine as recommended by the faculty of the T.H. Chan School of Medicine. In accordance with usual custom, you as individuals are entitled to all the rights and privileges which pertain to this degree here and elsewhere. Congratulations.
The academic hoods that you will soon adorn are replete with symbolism. The hoods serve as visual representations of your academic achievement and the medical degrees you have successfully earned. Most importantly, your hoods signify the culmination of your graduate studies. Your hoods signify the culmination of your graduate studies and your transition from being a student to being one of our colleagues. I would ask that the Doctor of Medicine graduates in the T.H. Chan School of Medicine remain standing, and in the presence of all who are gathered here today, don your academic hoods. Now, will Doctors Lane and Bolzano, Larkin, and Weaver please come forward, and the MD PhD mentors rise and move in order to meet your graduate for the awarding of the MD PhD degrees.
Today, we have the honor of awarding degrees to 9 graduates who have completed the requirements for the combined MD PhD degree. Will the candidates please come forward? Dr. Amy Chung, mentor, Dr. Kensuke Futai. Dissertation, the role of neurexins in serotonin signaling in complex behaviors. Dr. Eric Yushao Ding, mentor, Dr. David McManus. Dissertation, feasibility of smartwatch-based atrial fibrillation detection among older adults after stroke. Dr. Chantal Ferguson, mentor, Dr. Anastasia Kavorova. Dissertation, modulating ApoE with tissue-specific siRNAs in Alzheimer's disease. Dr. William Tyler France, mentor, Dr. Craig Seal. Dissertation, dissection of zebrafish adult melanocyte stem cell signaling during regeneration. Dr. Miriam Anna Rim Goldberg. Mentors, Dr. Robert Brown and Dr. J. Matthias Waltz. Dissertation, design and testing of a novel communication system for non-vocal critical care patients with limited manual dexterity. Dr. James L. Shen, mentor, Dr. Eric Barrica. Dissertation, VPS13D is a regulator of PINK1-mediated mitophagy and membrane contacts. Dr. Noah Jacob Silverstein, mentor, Dr. Jeremy Luban. Dissertation, disease tolerance, epigenetic inheritance, and surviving pathogenic viral infections. Dr. Abigail O'Regan Smith, mentor, Dr. Gregory Pazur. Dissertation, defining the role of C-Jun N-terminal kinase signaling in autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. And Dr. Rachel Eileen Stamateris, mentor, Dr. Laura Alonzo. Dissertation, CDK4 rescues diabetes in IRS2 deficient mice, exploring novel roles of a cell cycle regulator in promoting beta cell differentiation.
I would now like to invite Dr. Ann Garrison, Associate Dean of the T.H. Chan School of Medicine, to the podium.
Sorry, I'm short. For several years now, medical education here at UMass Chan has taken place in small communities comprised of students from all 4 years of medical school. Our learning communities, known as houses, are named after Worcester and Springfield neighborhoods to remind us of our school's connection with the community. Students in these learning community houses are mentored by faculty who closely follow their academic progress and professional development. Given the importance of the learning communities in the lives and education of our School of Medicine graduates, we will be hooding and awarding the MD degrees by house. Blackstone House, head of house and mentor, Dr. Michael Ennis. Mentors, Dr. Jerry Durbin, Dr. Cynthia Ennis, Dr. Hugh Silk, and Dr. Brian McGuirk. Doctor of Medicine degrees are awarded to Dr. Scott Takeo Avey. Dr. Sarah Holmes. Dr. Ian Kelly. Dr. Danya Kumar. Dr. Katrina Lambeth. Dr. Molly Olmsted. Dr. Nishwan Swami. Dr. Mariah Alton Flagg. Dr. Luke Arney. Dr. Peter J. Keefe. Dr. Ariana McFarland. Dr. Brian Osorio. Dr. Vanya Zvonar. Dr. Alexandra Rose Bennett. Dr. Gregory Chisholm. Dr. Eleni Kavatsis. Dr. Holly Nicole Schillen. Dr. Annie Ray Thornton. Dr. Jorge Acevedo Herman. Dr. Jamie Burns. Dr. Ronnie Alexander Diaz. Dr. Sophia Lillian Landay. Dr. Jason L. Louie. Dr. Lauren Page Waldman. Brightwood House, Head of House and Mentor, Dr. Eric Churchill. Mentors, Dr. Sam Borden, Dr. Elizabeth Eagleson, Dr. Jacqueline Wu, Dr. Molly Sen McNally, and Dr. Rohini Harvey. Dr. Zeelan Sway. Dr. Megan Hansen. Dr. Christina Ann Jacobson. Dr. Paige Victoria Mastalish. Dr. Sarenya Ramadarai. Dr. Calvin Thomas Schaefer. Dr. Paula Whitmire. Dr. Annabelle Batten. Dr. Hannah Lynn Galopon Caringle. Dr. Colin Hart. Dr. Eve Marie Mangus. Dr. Victoria Powell. Dr. Deanna Sibai. Dr. Joseph Ryan Douglas. Dr. Rachel Lister. Dr. Saba Rahman. Dr. Jennifer Sullivan. Dr. Kendall Burdick. Dr. Sarah Christine Serrano Colove. Dr. Mary Elizabeth Marchese. Dr. Nathan Tabor. Dr. Emily Catherine Vicks. Dr. Jacqueline Sherry Wong. Dr. Chloe Marie Young. Burncoat House, Head of House and Mentor, Dr. David Hayden. Mentors, Dr. Lisa Gussick, Dr. Prashant Varetti, Dr. Adonis Barrios Morales, and Dr. Jamie D. Dr. Christopher Mason Boosie. Dr. Haley Ruth Clark. Dr. Simran Dhaliwal. Dr. Omar Saror. Dr. Liam Ben-Joseph. Dr. Jenna Lansbury. Dr. Eileen McNicholas. Dr. Grace Wang. Dr. Eugenia Asapenko. Dr. Manon Devilmagine. Dr. Rachel Lyons. Dr. Lucy Hsu. Grafton Hill House, Head of House and Mentor, Dr. Matthew McGinnis. Mentors, Dr. Jennifer Moody, Dr. Peggy Wu, Dr. Amber Sarkar. Dr. Sean Boyden. Dr. Elizabeth M. Makris. Dr. Kyla Pagani. Dr. Abhinav Prasad. Dr. Nicholas Paul Bergeron. Dr. Danielle Codir. Dr. Ryan Porter Lindsay. Dr. Lynn Viet Nguyen. Dr. Shannon Lucille West. Dr. Lisa Chan. Dr. Taylor Ivan Harris. Dr. Alice Kennedy. Dr. Dervala Martin. Kelly House, Head of House and Mentor, Dr. Gary Blanchard. Mentors, Dr. James Broadhurst, Dr. Nidhi Chodar, Dr. Philip Fournier, and Dr. Beverly Nazarian. Dr. Emily Chin. Dr. Alyssa Kastronakis. Dr. Ashwin Panda. Dr. Gabriella Paquette. Dr. Bryce Connor Pepin. Dr. Nicholas Radigan. Dr. Sarah Ferreira. Dr. Patrick Magnus Nassett Jocelyn. Dr. Kevin McCool. Dr. Eileen Ann McGarry. Dr. Nicholas Modeste. Dr. Dalton Moreau. Dr. Jennifer Spiegel. Dr. Taylor Dickinson. Dr. Angela Rose Issa. Dr. Sam Fox. Dr. Connie G. Dr. George Hahn. Dr. Claire Meyervitz. Dr. Madan Kumar Sai-Prasad. Dr. Rebecca Chernick. Dr. Emily Farbman. Dr. Sean Francis Gibney. Dr. Vivian Liu. Dr. Coleman Peril Reardon. Dr. Claire Diddert Ryan. Quinsigamond House, Head of House and Mentor, Dr. Diane Blake. Mentors, Dr. Erin Barlow, Dr. Laura Hallett, Dr. Zun Wangu, and Dr. Ted McNow. Dr. Maimuna Saida Ahmad. Dr. Kevin Dixon. Dr. Austin Howell. Dr. Jeremiah Highslip. Dr. Cindy Lee. Dr. Michael Edward Urbanowski. Dr. Matali Doshi. Dr. Jacob Avery Gitlin. Dr. Christian Shazade. Dr. Ayush Thomas. Dr. Sierra Anderson. Dr. Hungi Do. Dr. Aryan Mustofi. Dr. Jan Clifford Shoquist. Dr. Dawn Trung. Dr. Jing Xu. Dr. Zaneb Javid Dar. Tatnick House, Head of House and Mentor, Dr. Christine McGinnis. Mentors, Dr. Timothy Gibson, Dr. James Ledwith, Dr. Stacy Weisberg, Dr. Sharmali Koretz, and Dr. Marcy Jones. Dr. Kayla Daniel. Dr. Mariana Paradise. Dr. Caroline Rapetti. Dr. Trenton Taros. Dr. Aditya Vangala. Dr. Rosanna Gessel Larson. Dr. Connor Paul Hickey. Dr. Gregory Yovanel. Dr. Kelly Robertson. Dr. Matthew Daniel Vieira. Dr. Victoria Fleming. Dr. Thomas Kanya. Dr. Julia McDougall. Dr. Grace Elizabeth Ryan. Dr. Bennett Edwards Vogt. Dr. Andrew Colley. Dr. Sarah Hyde. Dr. John Bernard Gerlain Carpuck. Dr. Olivia Caitlin Sears. Dr. Hannah Spalding. And Dr. Michael Wang.
Will all the graduates of the T.H. Chan School of Medicine please rise and be recognized?
In 2020, we began a new commencement tradition. The class of 2020 was the first graduating class to write the oath that they recite at commencement. Today, the class of 2023 will recite their oath in front of their peers, family, and friends. A writing group was convened earlier this semester, working with the entire class to create an oath that reflects their unique experiences and their commitment to the field of medicine. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the students who served on the oath writing committee: Rebecca Chernick, Molly Olmstead, Abhinav Prasad, Caroline Rapetti, and Michael Urbanowski. At this time, I would like to invite the committee members to come forward to lead the class in the recitation of the oath. I also invite all physicians in the audience to stand with the class of 2023 and join them in reciting the oath. The oath may be found on page 14 of your program.
hold close the original inspirations that brought me to this profession, for it is a gift to care for, support, and be present with my patients along their life journey. May I refrain from all intentional harm. When I make mistakes, may I face them with humility and grace. May I never see my patient anything other than a fellow human seeking help. May I always be cognizant of the isolation that patients may face due to disease and treatment. I will remember that healing is the art dedicated to the entire person, and I will never underestimate the value of being at the bedside. May I never forget those individuals who guided me along my path to medicine, especially my patients, who will always be my greatest teachers. May I recognize I am not alone in my practice. I will endeavor to never lose sight of my own well-being, health, and personal identity along my journey. May I never forget the vulnerable position of being a learner. I will strive to be a compassionate and thoughtful mentor to others. May I always remember that the greatest advances in medicine have been made within an interdisciplinary team, so that I always value my colleagues and their contributions to our shared goals. May I be forever humbled by the struggles of the global community. I will strive to be sustainable in my practice and stewardship of medicine. May I always seek deeper knowledge, for medicine requires a lifelong dedication to learning. May I always be cognizant of the power and privilege my voice will carry. May I fight injustice and challenge inequity. I will always advocate for my patients and their access to health care. Here I am, ready for my vocation, and now I turn on to my calling.
How about one more hearty round of applause for our class of 2023 graduates? Allow me to thank all of you for this tremendous display of support for our newly minted graduates. Your presence matters, and we're most grateful to have you here to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates in the classes of 2023. I have been told by the folks who are monitoring the weather that in about 20 minutes there's going to be a downpour on the campus. It wouldn't dare happen until we all leave the tent. Trust me, good planning. But for those of you who might need a little longer time to get into your cars, you might want to think about doing that rather swiftly. The tent is going to remain open for those of you who would like to take pictures and that sort of thing on the stage. So as soon as we have processed out, then you're welcome, but it just may be a little wet. I would kindly ask all of our attendees to please remain in their seats until the platform party, faculty, and graduates have recessed out of the tent. As I said, our graduates will be able to return to the stage after it's cleared to pose for pictures with their guests. Thank you so much for joining us. I hereby declare the 50th Annual Commencement Exercises of the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School closed.
Thank you.